let's run down a list of the amount of symbiotes that have appeared throughout the years. But before we can get into that, I just need to let you know that this video is sponsored by Marvel Puzzle Quest, and if you stick around to the end of the video, you'll find out how to get a free Venom character in that game. Alright, let's start with our list. Symbiotes are cool. Originally there was just one, but as time moved on, more and more of them just kept showing up. Now you can't go anywhere without finding a symbiote somewhere. Hell, things that didn't used to be symbiotes are now symbiotes. Let's run down a list of how many symbiotes have appeared throughout the years. Starting at the top of our list, we have Venom, the original, the classic, and to be honest, the one that gets around the most. Honestly, while researching this list, I've come to the conclusion that Venom is the slut of the symbiote race. Seriously, it seems like everyone in the Marvel Universe has been inside of it. I think I was in a Venom symbiote last weekend. The details are still a bit hazy, but I'm not here to judge. It's just like the rest of us, looking for that special someone who feels just right. Now, we've discussed this in other videos, so I'm going to run down the list of people that have worn it very quickly. Deadpool. For the longest time, it was believed that Peter Parker was the first bearer of the black symbiote. According to Deadpool's Back in Black series, however, it was actually Wade Wilson that first slipped inside of the alien goo. I'll try to keep the inside of the symbiote jokes to a minimum, but it's so easy, like the Venom symbiote. Peter Parker came up next. After Spider-Man acquired the symbiote during the original Secret Wars series, he brought it back to Earth where he discovered that it was an alien being that was trying to bond with him permanently. Spider-Man would then reach out to Reed Richards, who would discover that it had a weakness to sonic vibrations and then use them to remove it from Peter Parker. Eddie Brock would be third, and after being rejected by Spider-Man, the symbiote searched for a new host. Attracted by Eddie's despair and hatred for Spider-Man, who blamed him for losing his job and wife, the two would bond to become a villain and later a lethal protector in their own long history. Anne Welling, as the ex-wife of Eddie Brock, she had a rocky history with him. Eddie convinced the symbiote to bond with her when she was mortally wounded. While the alien healed her, she also went on a bit of a murder spree before Eddie could reacquire the suit. Then we had Angelo Fortunato. Gifted the symbiote in order to prove himself to his father, instead, Angelo was beaten so badly by Spider-Man that he ran away. The symbiote wasn't a fan of cowards and decided to separate from Angelo mid-swing throughout the city. It really didn't end well for Angelo. Mac Gargan. Originally known as the villain Scorpion, Mac probably wouldn't be put on any list of greatest villains. After Norman Osborn gave him a chance to become Venom in the Dark Avengers, Mac agreed and became a violent, cannibalistic hero for a short time. Carol Danvers came up next. Now, after Norman Osborn's Dark Avengers attacked Asgard in the Siege event, Mac Gargan decided to snack at a few of the locals. Spider-Man and the at the time Miss Marvel arrived to help. After the symbiote bonded with her when she forcibly separated it from Gargan with her powers, Carol turned on Spider-Man. The symbiote became confident with its newfound power, however, and accidentally separated itself from its new host. Before anyone could stop it, though, it reattached itself to Gargan. Then we had my personal favorite, Flash Thompson. Former high school bully turned into war hero, Flash Thompson took the chance to continue serving his country as Agent Venom after losing his legs in Iraq. After fighting the symbiote's murderous tendencies, Flash would go on to save the world on several occasions, fighting alongside the Secret Avengers and the Guardians of the Galaxy. From Flash, the symbiote would also learn what it means to be a hero. Red Hulk would gain it during the Circle of Force storyline when Agent Venom teamed up with Red Hulk, X-23, and Ghost Rider to fight against Blackheart and his army of demons. In order to defeat him, Red Hulk bonded with the symbiote, and also the Spirit of Vengeance, and yes, that was as awesome as it sounds. Then we had Dr. Octopus. After Doc Ock took over Peter Parker's body and became the superior Spider-Man, he removed the symbiote from Flash after promising robotic legs. Doc Ock was never the most stable of people to begin with, and the combination of the symbiote and his cruel mind wasn't the best combo. Eventually, Flash, with the help of the Avengers, would retake control of the symbiote. Then we would get Andy Benton. For a time, Flash moved to Philly and became a high school coach. While there, he was hunted down by one of his more common foes, Jack-O-Lantern. When Jack murdered the father and wounded one of the kids that Flash was mentoring, the symbiote split itself and created Flash's very own crazy sidekick named Mania. Guardians of the Galaxy came up next, and after joining the Guardians, the symbiote would become more violent and threaten his new teammates as Flash began to lose control of it. When the Guardians discussed launching the violent creature into space to defend itself, it attached to Groot. From there, it went to Rocket Raccoon and then to Drax. That's right, it was a threesome. Lee Price was probably one of the worst people to ever get the Venom symbiote, and he was the last person to wear the symbiote before it was returned to Eddie Brock. After separating from Flash Thompson, the symbiote sought out another heroic individual to bond with. Seeing that Price was a soldier like Flash, it was drawn to him. Unfortunately, Price was nothing like Flash, and instead was a psychopath who used his military training to hire himself out as a mercenary. Then in the far-flung future, we have Crone Stone. Set in the year 2099, the half-brother of Spider-Man, Miguel O'Hara, was deep in the criminal underworld. After he was left for dead, he was found by the Venom symbiote in the sewers, where it has apparently been living and became more insane as it grew older. Okay, now we're gonna move on to those who have worn the Venom symbiote outside of main canon. In Venomverse, Eddie Brock, now inside of the symbiote once again, must work against alternate versions of Venom to save the multiverse. Shockingly, there are a lot of out-of-continuity Venoms in this storyline, so I'm just gonna list them off. Here we go! Venom, Captain America, Gwenpool, Ghost Rider, Logan, Deadpool again, Black Panther, Anti-Venom, Doctor Strange, Rocket Raccoon, Old-Fashioned Spider-Man, Punisher, and Doctor Doom. Then we have Venom T-Rex. Remember that wacky story where Logan and old Hawkeye traveled across the broken remains of the supervillain ravaged United States? Haha, good times. While traveling through the New Savage Land, they were followed by a T-Rex that had bonded with the old symbiote. Unfortunately, the greatest team up ever, Venom and T-Rex, was ended by a single word from the aging Black Bolt. In the Ultimate Universe, we have Ultimate Venom. While still worn by Peter Parker and Eddie Brock, the suit in the Ultimate Universe isn't alien in origin, but created by Richard Parker. The symbiote is instead an organic suit designed to fight cancer cells. And it does not go well, my friends. Now it's time that we move on to the other symbiotes that have appeared in comics. Life Foundation symbiotes. With a name like that, you can imagine that these people were very cult-like, in an attempt to create the protectors of a utopia that the Life Foundation members would reside in the future. The group extracted 5 children from the Venom symbiote and bonded it with 5 volunteers. The group included Scream, Lasher, Phage, Agony, and Riot. Shockingly, with names like that, they weren't the most cute and cuddly group. Turns out that these mercenaries had some deep-seated mental problems and they murdered a large amount of people. Eventually, all of the hosts would die, but the symbiotes would go on to combine into a creature known as Hybrid. Carnage is another fan favorite. When Venom became popular in the anti-hero role, a new villain was needed in the symbiote villain role. Enter Cletus Cassidy. Once this psycho was bonded with an offspring of Venom, he would become so deadly and powerful that Spider-Man and Venom would have to team up on numerous occasions to stop him. The symbiote would also go on to bond with Norman Osborn and create the Red Goblin. That's all we need, a symbiote flying around on a glider. Toxin is another fan favorite. Eventually, the Carnage symbiote would have its own little baby symbiotes of its own, and it bonded with the NYPD officer Patrick Mulligan. This symbiote would go on to become more powerful than any before it. This would be a bad thing if it bonded with a crazy person like they always seem to do. However, Mulligan was an honorable man, and he would go on to be a hero that constantly fought against the creature's natural instincts of evil. Probably got that from its daddy. Marcus is a half-centaur, half-werewolf member of the Frightful Four, which may be the weirdest sentence I have had to say today. Scorn is another child of the Carnage symbiote that was originally used to enhance the prosthetic limb of Dr. Tanis Knives. While Scorn shared many of the aspects of the Carnage symbiote, it also had a unique talent for bonding with technology. ZZZXX, I think it's pronounced the criminal of the Shi'ar Empire who would become known as the Imperial Guardsman. His true goal was to bond with the Princess Lilandra Namamiri, Professor X's alien girlfriend. X-Men Blue. The time-traveling X-Men went into space at one point. I mean, after time travel, space is really the only place they could go. And while working with Venom in space, the X-Men discover the symbiotes are being sold as weapons on the black market. Of course, the X-Men, being the good kids that they are, free the symbiotes. And as anyone could assume, the symbiotes quickly look for people to bond with, and they find the X-Men. How cool does that look? All black. The first, created from the living shadows of the void by Null, forged in the cosmic fire of the celestial severed head, wielded by the dark god Null to murder the light of creation throughout the universe. Eventually, it would be used by Gore the God Butcher in his attempt to destroy all of the gods throughout the known universe. There's also 2 other ones that have recently popped up in continuity that we don't have that much information on, but I know a few of you are going to be like, Benny, you forgot these 2. First, we have a storyline going on as of the time of creating the script called The First Host. It tells the story of a Kree soldier who got Venom before everyone else got Venom. Not really sure how I feel about that one, but he is out there. It's The First Host. I'm not sure how it's going to fit into continuity yet. Secondly, we have Venom, which is the story of Vietnam soldiers who bonded with Venom-like symbiotes that Null had left on the planet, and they ended up becoming like S.H.I.E.L.D. agents. It's another storyline that is currently just being told, and only very little has been revealed about it. So there you go. That should be all of the symbiotes that we were able to research and find to let you know about right now. Now, I know some of you guys are going to find some more obscure symbiote that we forgot to mention, but these are all the ones that, well, I consider important. So we're going to go with that. But let me know in the comments down below all of the symbiotes that we did miss that have been in one panel, or they showed up in the background of another storyline or something like that. Well, anyway, like I said at the beginning of the video, guys, this video is brought to you by Marvel Puzzle Quest. And I'm going to tell you a little bit about that game and how you can get yourself a free Venom character today, right now. Marvel Puzzle Quest is Marvel's own Match 3 puzzle RPG experience available on your mobile phone. I know a lot of you guys play those kinds of games, and of course I do as well. We all know that I play a ton of app games. The game is free on top of everything else, and it includes over 150 characters. For me, I like characters like Ghost Rider, Iron Man, and the multiple versions of Spider-Man. Luckily for me, Spider-Man has all of the same Match 3 colors that he brings into the battle, but still, it's Spider-Man. I could use all the different versions of him if I want to. If you play the game, you can compete in PvP content and even story events, or join alliances for more competitiveness and more rewards. And guys, the main reason that they wanted me to tell you about this game again, because you know we've done it before, is because they're having an anniversary event. You get free in-game gifts, special sales, double ISO 8 rewards, you get new alliance-based events, Cable and Taskmaster have been added to the roster, and if new players join right now and use our link, you'll get Venom Eddie Brock version for free when you join Marvel Puzzle Quest. That's right, use our link and you will get Venom for free. Just go to d3go.com/top10. That's d3go.com/TOPTEN. Or click the link in the description down below so that you can get the awesome character Venom for free if you're a new player. I do need to specify it is for new players. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel Comicstorian here to get more Know Your Universe and more lists so you know what's going on in your favorite comic books. And trust me, we got a lot of Venom-themed content coming up to you real soon.